this will hopefully give you the initial background on the institution to give you a flavor of it. Perfect. So let's get things started. So, as a medical school, we are technically the newest medical school in the UK. We are still technically the newest medical school in the UK. There are new medical schools opening in September 26, but as of now, we are the newest medical school. We opened in our first entry was September 2022. Um, and this September will be our fifth cohort of students. So September 26 will be our fifth cohort of students, and we have our first graduating batch of students in the summer of 2027. We are open to both international and UK-based students. We do have a high number of seats, particularly in comparison to most universities in the UK. So most universities you speak to will have anywhere between like 5 and 20 seats. For example, for international students, we have 107. So we're second after only UCLan in terms of the number of seats that we have. And again, I mean, at the very least, this gives you a better chance of securing an interview. As you can imagine, medicine in the UK is not easy to get a seat or even an interview on. And aside from the academic side of things, there are other things that we do look at, such as interviews and so on, and things that I will kind of explain and go over in the next 20 minutes or so. So yes, we do have a high number of seats. The university itself, as an institution, and I'll cover this later on, is very, very diverse. And then particularly on our medical program, we are the most diverse medical school in the UK. Our medical school sits within our College of Health, Medicine and Life Sciences. So although our medical school is new and it has been in operation since 2022, as a college, it's been around for a while at the institution. Now, the only program we currently offer is the MBBS, which is the Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. We are looking to expand our offerings and have more programs available in the coming years. But as of now, this is the only program that we do offer in the field of medicine. Students, once they've graduated from the medical program, they are eligible for the UK Foundation program training. So this is the 2 years work element to a medical degree post graduation. And then you have the MLA shortly after. So just one thing that I would like to mention, because our medical school is new, it's currently not GMC approved, although this is standard for new medical schools that are opening up. So one of the requirements for GMC approval is having a graduating batch of students, which obviously we don't have just yet, but we should have in September 2027. If you have any, I mean, usually parents and students have quite a few questions about this. So I'm happy to field any questions that you do have, but this is standard procedure for a new medical school opening, where approval is only given once you have the graduating batch. In terms of facilities, because we're a new medical school, we have new facilities too. So all the facilities are state of the art and we're kind of built and established in 2022. The medical school is, and again, I can show you a clearer picture of the campus in one of the latter slides. But it's based in a building called Quad North. It's very central to campus. And we have state-of-the-art learning facilities, including simulated hospital wards, anatomy centers, and clinical laboratories, and so on. So there's a lot there, particularly in terms of the facilities that we offer at the university. So something that I mentioned very briefly earlier on is the diversity of campus and our student population. So of our 157 seats, 107 of them are international seats. And you can see a breakdown on screen of where we recruit from and where our highest kind of domicile students come from. So you can see number one is India, second is Hong Kong, and then third is the UAE. I understand that many of the students who are probably on this call are from the UAE. This is based on country of domicile, so they don't necessarily have to be, for example, Emirati students, but these are students coming from or who are resident in these countries. And then on the left-hand side, there are obviously a wide range of other nationalities or countries of domicile represented on campus. So we have over 50 in total, just for our medical school. So very, very diverse program, very, very diverse university as a whole. So in terms of the university, I'm not sure if you know much about Brunel, but we are, as Sina had mentioned, we're a university established in 1966. I mean, as an institution, we were first established as an engineering school in 1966, and then we've expanded, and now we offer so many different programs, obviously including medicine. We're a very kind of research-led and intense university. So according to QS, as Sina had also mentioned, we're top 350 universities worldwide, and in the UK, 38. So it just kind of gives you an idea of where we are in terms of ranking, globally and locally as well, domestically. In terms of students, so international students are core to what we do. So 46% of the students on campus are international students. So it's a very, very international university. We're actually first in the UK for international outlook and fourth globally. So it's a very, very diverse university, and the city, obviously, because we are in London, the city itself is extremely diverse, where there are over 150 different nationalities represented, world-class sports facilities, and a single campus site, which you won't find at any other institution. So just in terms of location, we are in West London. So if any of you have been to the UK, you most likely would have come to Heathrow Airport. So we're about 20 minutes away from there in terms of location, and about 40 minutes away from central London, right? So that's where we are in terms of location. Because of that, it's significant. I'll switch the slide first. So because of that, we are in a kind of a significantly quieter area than it would be in central London. Students can really kind of really focus on their education and studies, but while also taking advantage of the kind of the scenery we have locally, and the facilities that we also have. So just going back one slide very briefly. Again, if any of you have been to the UK, you're very much aware, I'd assume, of the London Underground. So we are in Zone 7. We're in Zone 6. We are in Hillingdon, or Uxbridge Town Centre. And from there, you have the Metropolitan and the Piccadilly lines, which would get you into central London or any London, by getting on these train lines. And then we're on the newly established Elizabeth line also, which was opened a couple of years ago now, and this would get you to central London in about 20 minutes. So yeah, this is just to kind of set the scene for you and kind of give you an idea of the university and campus itself. So as I mentioned earlier, hopefully you can see my cursor. This is where the medical school is. It's slap bang in the heart of campus. The nearest hospital we have is about a 10-minute walk away. So it's very, very local to the campus itself. And we have GP practice on campus itself too. This is particularly important for the clinical placements that take place on the medical program. We are the only single campus institution in London. So every other university in London is fragmented within the city, or with multiple campuses, where students would have to kind of commute either between accommodation and classes and like the sports facilities, for example. Whereas at Brunel, everything is in one place. So this is one of the unique things about Brunel that you won't find elsewhere. Everything is in one place, everything's in one campus. And that includes accommodation. So all these white buildings here, as well as the red, brown, yellow, this is all accommodation. So we have over 4,500 rooms available, and students are welcome to stay in these throughout their studies. Again, this is optional. They don't have to stay on campus. Equally, they can be living outside if they wanted to, right? So in terms of admissions requirements for medicine, so the general entry requirements, there are some general things that we look at. Students have to be 18 on entry. So for example, this year, so this is the September 25 intake, students had to be 18 on the 1st of October. Unfortunately, if they turned 18 a day after this, they wouldn't be accepted. This is due to the clinical placements that take place, and for insurance purposes, students have to be 18 on entry, right? Aside from that, students will have to submit a personal statement, academic references as well, to be considered for the program. There is an English requirement, of course, on the medical course, which is a 7 in IELTS with no less than 7 in each subsection. However, if students do have English speaking qualifications like A levels, for example, IB, even CBSEs, they won't require an IELTS score as long as they satisfy the minimum entry requirements for the English component. If they do fall below the minimum required English score in their respective qualifications, then they will have to do an IELTS or equivalent. Now, I thought it'd be easier just to include a screenshot of the grades that we need on screen so you can have a look at. We do, of course, accept qualifications outside of this. So we do accept, for example, CBSE grades, which I can go over later on if we have any CBSE queries. as well as the US high school diploma, the Canadian, the French bac, and so on. So there are a wide range of other qualifications. However, I've included these because these are usually the most popular ones, particularly in the UAE. Um, so as you can see on screen, we look for a minimum of 3 A's at A level. Um, in It could be a maths and a science, it could be two sciences, and then the third A level could essentially be in anything except for general studies, right? So this is what we generally look for. In terms of prior to the A levels, GCSE or equivalent, we look for a minimum of 5 GCSEs at grade B, including two science subjects as well as English and maths. Like I said earlier, when I was speaking about the IELTS requirements briefly, if a student has a grade C in English, they won't need an IELTS, right? And that applies also to CBSE and the other qualifications too. In terms of IB grades, we look for a minimum of 36, right? 36 IB points is in the full diploma, high level 6 in chemistry or biology, and high level 5 in maths or a second science. So that's what we look for. We do have an entry as well for students who've completed their bachelor degrees already. So if they've completed a degree, for example, in something related to medicine, like biomed or something similar, and they've achieved a minimum 2-1, then they can be considered for entry onto our medicine program. Equally, if a student has a master's degree with a merit in a grade in a relevant field or program, they can also be considered. Finally, and this is a big one that we have quite a lot, UCAT. So I'll go into this in a bit more detail in the later slides, but UCAT or GAMSAT is not a requirement. It is preferred, but not required. So what that means is we do not have a cutoff score. How this works is essentially we assess candidates who have completed a UCAT first, and then if we have any remaining seats, we will assess the non-UCAT candidates. So that essentially they'll be put on a waiting list to start with. If we have seats remaining, then we will reach out to our non-UCAT students and inform them of the chances of getting in. So again, we would recommend students who to take a UCAT if they still have the opportunity and to submit the grades accordingly because it increases their chances of being accepted. The only score we don't accept in UCAT is SJ Band 4, situational judgment. If a student has that, we would not accept it. Aside from that, we will consider all grades. Many students ask, what's the cutoff? Is there a certain cutoff? Is there an average score you look for? No, there isn't. There is no cutoff. There is no specific score we look for. As long as students have the UCAT, do not have SJ Band 4, they will be considered. Okay. So that's on the UCAT test, and equally with JAMSAT, again, it's the same. UCAT test can only be taken once, whereas JAMSAT, you have multiple opportunities to take. Just in terms of timelines, just so you're aware, registration for UCAT opens in May, and then bookings commence in June, and then the testing is done between July and September. So just to kind of give you an idea of the timelines, whereas the GAMSAT's offered twice a year, registration opens at different times of the year and so on. But I'm sure Sina and her team will be able to support you with any bookings for these exams throughout the year. The other assessments, so we mentioned qualifications, the academic qualifications, personal statements, references. We mentioned the UCAT and GAMSAT. The final kind of stage of an application is the MMIs. So once students' qualifications have been assessed, once they have, once we've filtered them based on the qualifications they have, a personal statement submitted, references, once we've seen if they have a UCAT test or not, the final stage, and every student has to do this, is an MMI, multiple mini interviews. Essentially how this works, and there is preparation materials available online on our website as well as just generally online. It's 6 scenario-based mini interviews, each lasting about 5 minutes with different assessors, right? These are conducted online for international students, so you don't have to come to the UK. These can be conducted online. There is no particular study to be done for them or to prepare them. Obviously, we recommend you prepare, and there are materials to support your preparation online. But in terms of study, there is no particular study that needs to be done for the interview. And essentially, it helps us select students with certain qualities that we look for, cognitive skills, to ensure that they're kind of successful throughout the program. Students are given marks throughout this assessment period or this interview period, and then the sum of these final marks will then rank students and we will offer places accordingly. If students' performance isn't as good as we expected, we will put them on a wait list. And then, should we have seats available in the future and closer to the intake, we would then reach out to them accordingly. So, just to give you an idea of the selection process and kind of visualize it a bit more for you. So, as I mentioned, the first stage is the admissions team screening the students. Um, so this is student it's streaming both the academic and the non-academic criteria. Grades or the predicted grades to start with, as long as personal statement references and so on. And then students who've moved on from that stage, we would then look at the UCAT or the GAMSAT score. Students are then ranked accordingly and invited to interviews. The interviews are conducted online, like I said, at these 6 stations, and an overall score is then provided or attributed to each student. So our interviews will take place hopefully from prior to Christmas, and they will run up until the spring or late spring. So students, the recommendation is always apply as soon as you can to avoid disappointment. But there will be a rolling interview basis, so we will continue interviewing students until our seats have been allocated or all seats have been allocated, right? Um, Students will then be ranked according to their MOI scores, and then our admissions committee within the university will then decide who gets the place and who doesn't, and we'll reach out to students accordingly based on that. Students who are on the wait list, for example, those who didn't provide a UCAT or GAMSCAT score, and or equally didn't perform as well as maybe they expected to in the interview, will then be reached out later should we have any seats remaining. So how to apply? Um, as you may or may not be aware, if you were looking for the September 26th entry, the UCAS application deadline is on the 15th of October. So that's actually passed already. However, Brunel is one of the few or one of the handful of universities where you can also apply directly. So if you wanted to submit a direct application to us, you can through UniED Ventures. So if you reach out to Sina and her team, they will be able to support you in kind of collating your documents and submitting an application directly to the university. In all honesty, I would highly recommend applying to Brunel directly rather than through UCAS, as it maximizes your chances of securing an interview. Most universities in the UK will only accept UCAS applications, whereas we are one of 5 or 6 that also accept direct applications. So what I'm suggesting is you make your 4 UCAS applications to those who only accept UCAS applications, and then the others you can apply to directly, just again to increase your chances of securing at least an interview at these additional institutions. So one key thing that we do at Brunel that is different to every other medical school in the UK, and it's new in line with the curriculum that we've developed for this program, is something called team-based learning. So there are no traditional lectures on our medical program, and there are no traditional lectures whatsoever from start to finish. And this is because we've adopted something called team-based learning. And I have a short video just to kind of highlight what it is and how we do things differently for you. And this would be the best way of giving you an overview of this new approach that more and more medical schools are now adopting. So it's a short video of 3 or 4 minutes, which will give you an insight into team-based learning and how you would be taught throughout your course.
For some reasons, audio is not coming in. We can see the video only there.
Sorry?
The audio is not playing. Only the video
Oh,
is playing.
oh, okay.
It's fine. You can just run the audio meanwhile and send me the link, and I'll share this link with students maybe later.
Okay. I mean, I'll share the link with you. I mean, if there's no audio, then they wouldn't benefit from the explanation. So I'll continue, and I'll share the link with you, and you can distribute to the attendees.
Sure, Gat, we'll do that.
Okay, perfect. So essentially, oops. So essentially, team-based learning is a different approach to teaching medicine, and it's something more and more universities are adopting now in the UK. Even the new medical schools that are opening in September next year have also adopted the same approach. So essentially, what team-based learning is, there are no traditional lectures. Team-based learning is it's students essentially learning in groups of six to tackle the problems that are addressed to them in classes. So it's again moving away from the traditional kind of big lecture centers and moving and learning in smaller groups. So I'll share the video with Sina, and she'll distribute to the attendees, and you can watch in your own time to give you an overview of TBL. Another thing that often comes up is clinical placements and how they are done at the UK, at Brunel specifically. So again, because our approach is new, because it's a new medical school with new facilities and so on, and the fact that we're in London, we do things a bit differently. So, for example, our clinical placements commence from semester one of year one. Most universities in the UK, they will start in year two, and some of them even in year three. So, what this means essentially is giving students early patient contact from the very first semester of year one. This is the main reason, or one of the reasons, that students have to be 18 on entry, is for insurance purposes, because they're having contact at such an early stage. Um, Now, our closest facility is actually on campus, right? And the furthest one away would be within 2 hours of campus. So this is just to give you an idea of how close slash far you will be placed. This includes GP practices, hospitals, clinics, community health centers, and so on. And don't forget that the fact that you are in London, there is such a diverse patient community where you wouldn't find outside or even in your home countries. We have a placement team that provides support and profiles for each placement that students will also have access to. So just so you understand the locality of these placements and where they are, so you can see our partners listed on screen, but also, so in terms of a university, we're here, right? So you can see the hospitals that are offered are in the wider London area, as well as just outside of London, and then in central London too. So this is potentially where students can be placed throughout their study journey and their placements, their clinical placements with us at Brunel. So moving on to life as a student. So this is something that I touched upon earlier in terms of the community that we have at the university. So again, we are the most diverse university in the UK, fourth globally. Students, or international students, make up 46% of our student population, coming from over 155 different countries worldwide. Um, and then obviously, like I said, we do offer guaranteed accommodation on campus. We are on a single campus university, and we're the only one of its kind in the UK too. And then aside from that, there are many different clubs and societies for students to join while studying with us. I understand that obviously such a intense program like medicine, obviously students need to dedicate a lot of their time to the program itself. But in addition to that, there are some extracurriculars that students can participate and take part in, which we'd obviously recommend, particularly from a networking and socializing perspective. So that's it from me. If you have any questions, I will now be able to address them. Um, I think we have quite a few comments. I think I can see 54 in the chat. Um, so if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat if you haven't already, and we'll be able to address them as we go on. And then on the screen now, I've put the UniED Ventures contact details and registration details for the upcoming events and so on. So if you do have any questions, please let us know.
Thank you so much, Gareth, for the informative session. Indeed, it was very informative for students to understand about the MBBS program for Brunel University London and the advantages of choosing Brunel. So we do have few questions, so I would like to read some of them coming in. Students want to know about the fee structure and if any scholarships are available for the MBBS program.
Yep, sure. So our MBBS program is priced at just under £50,000 per year. It comes up to £49,735 per year. The program is 5 years in duration. Unfortunately, we don't offer any scholarships in our medicine program. So if you were looking to study any other course, we would. But unfortunately, for medicine, we don't have any scholarships available.
Sure, thank you. And also, if you can comment on the living cost, yeah, yearly maybe or monthly.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So, I mean, in terms of UKVI, this is the United Kingdom Visa and Immigration Home Office in the UK. They would need you to prove. So, in order to obtain a successful visa application, you would need to prove 1,500 or just under £1,500 per month for a period of 9 months. So this is what you'd need to prove to UKVI in order to kind of maintain your living expenses in the UK for the duration of studies. In terms of at Brunel, so for example, at Brunel, our accommodation, our ensuite accommodation on campus would cost you on average about £200 per week, right? Um, so this over the 9 month period would come up to about £8,000 per year. Aside from that, the only other expense that you have is your food and your food and travel and going out and so on. So I guess that would give you some idea. If you were to live outside of campus, it's significantly more expensive. But if you were on campus, that's the kind of the prices or the range of prices you're looking at.
Sure, thank you, Gay. In clinical duration, the fee remains same as academic duration.
Correct. So the fee remains the same throughout the 5 years. Once you finish the 5 years, you would then have the foundation years 1 and 2, which is the work um, the work period, and that would be after the 5 years of study.
All right, sure. And do you have any exemptions for the age, like bypassing the 18 years old? Some students want to know. Is there
So
any
students,
criteria?
so it's unfortunately it's a hard deadline. Students have to be 18 on entry. If they are not 18, they won't be accepted.
All right. So, and how about the placements after doing their 5 years MBBS?
So again, so the university will support in securing these placements that are available in the West London, Central London, and even outside London area. So these we do have a placement team that are there to support students throughout this journey.
Sure, thank you. There are a lot of students who are joining in. I would appreciate that we would send the recording of this webinar in case you have missed the beginning of this webinar so that you can again go through it. So we have more questions coming in. Is the shared accommodation in the campus? So I believe you will have shared accommodations in the campus as well.
So basically, how it works is our accommodation for the most part is en suite. So what I mean by en suite, students will have their own bedroom, their own bathroom, and then a shared kitchen, right? In terms of shared rooms, we don't do shared rooms where students are in the same room together, living, but rather they would be in the flat where they have their own bathroom, their own bedroom, and then the kitchen is the communal space.
All right, great. So we have one more question for Bushra. Graduate students will study how many years? Is it same 5 years for even the students who have done graduation?
Correct, correct. So we
Okay,
don't do an advanced entry at the moment anyway. Students would commence from year one. So even if you have graduated in the biomedical program or a master's, for example, in a related course, and you are interested in medicine, you would start from one, correct?
great. We have a question from Rishi. Does NHS differentiate on salary brackets based on any criteria like ranking of the college, location, nationality, etc.?
No, so once students graduated from the program itself, they would then enter the employment stage, which is the foundation and onwards. So students graduating would go in as junior doctors, and this bracket is the same at NHS, regardless of the university they go to.
All right. Ahmed wants to know, in your presentation, it was written that UCAT once. What does that mean?
So UCAT is done once per year. So students will have the opportunity to do it once. There's a set time per year for them to do it, which falls just before September, or in the September period. So essentially, students who are interested in entering medicine in September 26 would be expected to have already taken the UCAT test.
Sure. So once the academic session, they can take the UCAT only once.
Correct.
All right. Post MBBS internship.
Hmm.
Uh, Miss Khan has asked, is there post MBBS internship? Like
What do you mean by
internships? Like internships are included in the 5 years, or will they have to do externally additional
No,
internship?
so the placements and internships are done throughout the program. So as I mentioned, so from semester one of year one, we will have internships or placements, clinical placements that take place. Actually, one thing maybe I didn't mention during the presentation that is probably
I'm sorry, Get. I'm sorry, Get. We're not able to hear you for some reasons. Just a moment. I think you have been muted. Could you unmute yourself, please? Thank you.
yeah, I
Sorry.
think it said the host had muted me.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
yeah, yeah. Sorry.
it's okay. Um, So what was I saying? Yeah, about the placements. So placements, like I said, commence from year one, semester one, while most universities will start from year two or year three. The first 2 years, students will be at GP practices, right, in the local area. And then in the final 3 years, so the years three, four, and five, they'll be placed at hospitals in the local area again. So these are the internships that I assume the student is referring to. But these clinical placements take place throughout the program itself.
Sure. Thank you. So there are a lot of students who are asking about scholarships. If I have A stars and A levels, there are no scholarships, unfortunately, in medicine
Unfortunately,
program.
yeah. Unfortunately for medicine, I mean, specifically for medicine, we do not offer any scholarships. I think most universities, or I don't, well, I'm not aware of any university in the UK that offers scholarships for medicine. Personally, I'm not aware of any. Medicine is such a kind of a desired, such a highly desired program that universities don't need to offer scholarships on them. And yeah, so students, unfortunately, it'd be the full price. We don't have any scholarships.
Okay. Any specific deadlines to apply, Get, or shall students apply as early as possible so that they can get the interview calls as early as possible?
So that's always the recommendation. The recommendation is apply as soon as you can to avoid disappointment. The UCAS deadline is the 15th of October, right? Like I said, we do accept applications outside of UCAS, but the UCAS application deadline is the 15th of October. And then essentially after that, as soon as the places are full, we will stop accepting applicants. So that's why the recommendation is apply as soon as you can to avoid disappointment.
All right. So for 2026, students can apply now. For 2027, intake students have to write UCAT in 2026 and they can then apply. So it's
Correct.
better for the ones who are looking for 2026 to apply now so that they can get
Absolutely.
early interview calls. And definitely, we are here. UniED Ventures is here to help you, support you, applying directly to Brunel and support you with your MMI preparation as well.
And as I said
Uh,
earlier, Sina, as well, so we do rolling interviews. Our first interviews are as early as November, December time. So prior to Christmas, we try and do one batch of interviews, and then they continue every month up until courses are full. So they will continue. So the earlier you apply, the earlier you are considered. So that's always the recommendation. Apply as soon as you can.
Absolutely.
As I'm sure, Sina, you are aware that medicine is so desirable by international students and
Absolutely.
programs. And although we do have a lot of seats, the course is full every year. So just bear that in mind when you're applying. Yes, we have more seats than other universities or most other universities, but it's still a very, very competitive program.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we will definitely, this point is noted down by students that to apply early will definitely be beneficial. Some more questions, Get, if we can take. We do have a little bit of time left. Are UCAT score reports automatically sent to Brunel when directly applying through the Brunel website, or do we manually add it?
So I think you have an option with UCAT to share them with the institution directly, but you can also send them to us if you're unaware or you've missed that part already, then you can share them with us. It can be uploaded onto our portal. But again, it will be done through the UniED Ventures team. So once you share it with them, they will be able to upload it onto our system and inform us of it, or Sina and her team will share it directly with me and I can notify our team accordingly.
Absolutely, we will do that, guys. So is there any advantage of applying through UCAS compared to direct application? I think you have
I
covered
would,
this.
yeah, so like I said, I would recommend students apply to us directly because most universities don't accept direct applications. To maximize the chances of securing an interview, apply to us directly and apply to the other universities. The ones that only accept UCAS applications, apply to them via UCAS. And then the 5 or 6 universities that accept direct applications, as including us, apply to them directly. There is no preference.
Great. And for 2027 intake, when is the right time when we will start the application? taking Brunel? When will Brunel start taking application for 2027 intake?
So you're looking at next year. So you'll be looking at approximately next year, after the intake is closed here, for the September 26 entry. So you're looking at September 26, October 26. That's the kind of the time frame you're looking at.
Sure. Dr. Mahalakshmi, age criteria has already been mentioned in the presentation that students need to be 18 years by 1st October in the application cycle. So if you're looking for 2026 intake, the student has to be 18 by 1st October 2026. Am I right, Get?
So this year, let me see if the dates have been released just yet. Give me one second. For September 25, it was October 25. The student had to be 18. Let me just find out for you. Give me one second. In
Okay,
the meantime,
because
you
the
can go through
student
other
is
questions.
saying that my daughter will be 8th October, she will turn 18. So there are
Let me,
some, parents who are a little bit worried about the age factor.
yeah, give me one second. Let me have a look.
Sure.
Let me see
So
if it has. Okay, so applicants must be, so for this year, so as in for the coming year, applicants must be age 18 or above by Friday, the 31st of October.
perfect, perfect. So Mahalakshmi, that gives you a chance to apply because you have time till 31st of October. So I hope your question is answered. Thank you. Now we have one more question. If an offer is made, will we have to make the payment to secure the seat prior to A-level results being released?
No. So it's understandable that students will need time to make a decision, particularly if they have multiple offers, dependent on the grades they achieve. And there's always that concern that if I don't meet the requirements, what happens? So no, we would expect students to confirm their places once the grades have been released.
Sure. For master's degree holder, is the curriculum modified or the same?
Then,
Same.
yeah.
Okay. Do UCAT scores provide leverage in the admission process compared to the students that do not give UCAT?
Of course. So students who have not taken a UCAT, I think I mentioned this earlier as well. Students who have not taken the UCAT test will be put on a waiting list or will be put on hold until we then assess everyone's. So if you haven't taken a UCAT and you've applied, you won't be considered in the first instance. We'll put you on a wait list. Once we've determined the students who have done a UCAT test, only then we'll assess the non-UCAT candidates. So yes, essentially. The preference is take a UCAT if you can.
Sure. So UCAT will be preferred. However, students, if you do not have UCAT and you wish to apply for 26 intakes, please do apply. Don't miss the chance. So maybe you get an opportunity in the waiting list and you might be called for an interview. So we highly recommend with UCAT will be preferred, but without UCAT, do not miss a chance. Please do apply with us. Ali Khan has a question. When can we hear from the university after submitting application directly? I believe you did answer that MMI calls will start from early Christmas, before
Correct.
Christmas.
So we're planning to have MMIs by the end of this month or early next month. That's the expectation. So the earlier you apply, the earlier you can be considered. So now we have students that applied as early as September. So September, a couple of months ago, and they are waiting to be called to interview. So students will be informed accordingly. Equally, those who've been put on a wait list will be informed that you have been put on a wait list. You will be considered maybe at the next batch or the batch after, dependent on places. But yeah, so the recommendation is apply as soon as you can. Generally, application turnaround takes about, I'd say, about a month and a half in order for our team to get back to you because we're considering all candidates at the same time.
Okay, and the timeline when once the interview is done, when do they accept these offers coming in or rejections?
Hopefully, again, between 2 and 4 weeks, I would say.
2 to 4 weeks. Got it,
Yeah.
got it. Is the degree approved internationally?
Yes. I mean, like I said, so we're not GMC approved just yet, and that's because we need to have a graduating cohort of students. And this is standard process for medical schools opening around the world. So you have to have a you have to have a graduating batch. So there are certain checkpoints throughout the MBBS program, which we have satisfied and adhered to as of now. The final checkpoint is having a graduating batch of students, which we don't currently have. We will hopefully have in the summer of 27, and then by then we expect it to be GMC approved.
Sure. How and when can we find out about GMC approval after September 2027?
So this will be announced. I mean, it will be on our website. Our partners, such as UniED Ventures, will be informed as well as our students who are currently on the program too. So this is standard procedure. As part of setting up a new medical school in the UK, you also have to have there are certain requirements that you have to have in place. Um, One of which, for example, is having a contingency plan. So the university, in order to set up a medical school, we had to have a contingency plan in place in the event, God forbid, that we didn't get approval after 5 years and after having graduating batch. There is a contingency plan in place, which is a university that will award degrees on our behalf for these students who've studied the program, which is Buckinghamshire New University. So this is standard process and procedure to open a medical school, and this is again one of the requirements we had to satisfy in order to get the approval to open.
Sure. Thank you so much, Kat, for answering that question in detail. So after MBBS, do you support students who would like to go for USMLE to US?
So the USMLE is a specific licensing examination for to practice in the US. So this is something students would have to undertake externally to the university.
All right. And how about postgraduate residency? Does it happen after 2 years of residency, PLAB 1 and 2?
Correct. Yeah, exactly. So students, I mean, doctors are in huge demand in the UK and outside of the UK. So if students were interested or keen on remaining in the UK and working in the UK, then that would be an option to them as well.
Great, great, great. So I believe a lot of questions are answered. IELTS cutoff has already been shared in the presentation, Mahalakshmi. We will share this recording with you so that in case you have any doubts or any more questions regarding eligibility, scholarship, or any other questions, we will definitely share the recording of this presentation. I would just quickly check if there are any further questions or not in the chat box. Can a student continue practicing in the UK after the degree?
Yes.
Yes, students can practice in the UK after the degree. They can do PG specialization if they want, or they can do their residency.
We don't
All
currently
right.
have PG specialization at the university, although we are looking to develop programs. So this is one question that comes up a lot. Students asking, are we able to do specialization at Brunel? So we don't currently offer them. We are looking to develop our portfolio of medical programs. So hopefully in the coming years we will, but as of now we don't.
All right, great. And MMI attempt is only once, right, Gay? They do not
Correct.
have like again any
Just
attempt
one
for
attempt.
MMI.
Correct.
Yes, so students need to be prepared for MMI. And just again, I would like to let you know, Get, if you could share the last screen of our slide, just in case on your screen, so that students
Yeah.
can take the screenshot.
Give me one
Students,
second.
I highly recommend please take the screenshot of the details on the website. So in case you have any further questions, UniED Ventures and our team are here to help you and assist you. We will definitely make sure to help you and guide you with the MMI support with our 12 years of experience. We will help you and guide you towards your medical school journey because, unlike other programs, I'm sure medicine requires a very dedicated and streamlined approach. And having said that, Brunel University London is one of very, very good choices for medicine with its prime location in London, clinicals done in London, having a very good hospital tie-ups in London, and giving you an early exposure into clinicals. So definitely you should consider Brunel University because since medicine is very competitive in the UK and there are universities which have not many seats for international students, Brunel is offering 107 seats. So, however, that means that you'll have to work hard in terms of your MMI, in terms of your UCAT scores, of course, if you're looking for 2027 and beyond intake. But having said that, even if you're looking for 26 intake, please do not miss a chance. Contact us. Our details are here on the screen. You can take a screenshot, you can WhatsApp, email us, and we'll be available at any point of the day. And we'll make sure to answer all your questions in case you have doubts related to how the application process is, in case you want to check your eligibility before applying. You can share your documents with us. We will make sure to check your eligibility based on your curriculum, whether it's A levels, IB, CBSE, or other curriculums. And we will let you know if you are eligible or not. And we will definitely help you and support you with the application. And having said that, as I mentioned already, with your MMI support and further with your visa accommodation. So please take a screenshot of the slide here, and also you can take you can scan the QR code for the upcoming events that we will be doing with more such universities like Brunel Medical School. And we will definitely be guiding you. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to us. I see there are a few more questions that please share the presentation. Sure, we will share the presentation. Please share your email ID in the chat box. We'll take a note of your email ID and we will share the presentation with you. And we will share the recording of this webinar as well with you. And thank you, everyone. UCAT Band 4 is not considered. Why? There is one question, Get, in the
SJ
chat.
band 4, it's just considered too low, so we wouldn't accept it. This is specifically situational judgment. Band 4 we won't accept.
All right. And Sana has a question. Is the contingency university who may reward the degree on the university behalf recognized internationally?
Of course, yeah, and they have GMC approval, of course.
All right. Bushra, thank you. Bushra is saying this meeting was very interesting and fruitful. Absolutely informative. Okay, so I believe Get everyone is thanking you for giving them this
Perfect.
clarity and giving them this information to make an informed and right decision. And definitely, we really appreciate your time today and your support for our students here. In case
Thank you for your
students,
time. So just sorry, briefly from me,
sure.
thank you everyone for your time. Much appreciated. And obviously thank you, Sina and her team for arranging such a session.
Definitely most welcome, Get. Thank you so much for your support once again. And in case any students have any further questions or in case they would like to, get more clarity, we would definitely get in touch with you again. And we would definitely let you know and keep you informed about the applications that will be running through after this webinar.
Perfect. Thank
So
you so much, everyone. Much
thank you.
appreciated. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Get. So
Thank
students who
you.
have not added their information, please add here. Get, thank you. It was lovely meeting you once again. And we will just wait for students to send their details in the chat so that we can
Perfect.
share the presentation with them.
Okay, I'll be leaving then. Thank you so much, Sina. Thanks a
Sure.
lot, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Get. Thank you so much. Good day. All right. So thank you, everyone, once again. Please leave your details in the chat box, your email ID and your names. And I will also share my email address in the chat box just in case you wish to check your eligibility or you wish to apply to Brunel Medical School as early as possible. Like Get mentioned, that early applications will really help you to secure an early interview call. And that means that you can get early acceptance as well. So please share your details here. My details and our website details for the upcoming webinars are also there. You can see in the chat box. We have upcoming events with more universities in the UK and Europe when it comes to medicine. Our next event is going to be on 3rd of December with Charles First Faculty of Medicine in Prague, Czech Republic, which is also one of the top ranked universities in the Europe. So if some of you might be considering Europe for medicine or dentistry, then definitely you should enroll for this webinar as well, which is going to be on 3rd of December. I would mention again, Charles First Faculty of Medicine. So I have noted down all your email IDs, and I really appreciate your time today that you have given us. And stay assured, we will do our best to help you throughout your journey. And in case you wish to have any more information or any more clarity on fee structure, on any of the doubts related to the age or any of the fees or any other doubts, please feel free to get in touch with us. Our mobile number and our email address is here. The best part about us is we will give you a personalized touch wherein we will be actively available through WhatsApp and call to answer and clarify all your questions. And we will be keeping you in loop regarding your application submission, the timelines, and the results. So I have shared the details here. I would give another 2 minutes for you to take the details down, and then we would end this session. And I'll make sure all of you get the recording on your email IDs as well. So please give us some time. We will send you the email with the recording of this webinar session, just in case your a child has missed this webinar and would like to go through it, it would be great that she or he watches this webinar recording. All right. So I'll be signing off then. If you have any more questions for me, please feel free to put in the chat box and I will get back to you. I'll wait for another 2 minutes. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate your time. And definitely, Brunel is one very good option. If you have not applied, please do apply. Being centrally located in London and having 107 international seats for MBBS student, which is a good number if you compare with other medical schools. And also the advantage that you can apply directly. So you might get a chance to secure your MMI as early as possible. And we will definitely make sure to make your medical school journey as easy and smooth as possible. Sure, sure. I have taken down your suggestion, Kartike. We will try to do sessions for medical schools in the Middle East as well. However, we specialize for medicine in Europe and in UK. But definitely, we will consider your suggestion and we will keep these sessions in the middle for the Middle East universities as well. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Time to sign off. Good day. Bye.